essentially you should be checking out your next 12 months. If you can project your next 12 months, and they're only estimates, so you don't have to live your life by it, but if you're getting your head in the numbers, putting it down on paper or talking to your accountant and utilizing their advice as well to help you fine tune those numbers, you've got better foresight than 90% of the business owners out there.
Joining me on the line today, I've got Adam Wilson from Wilson Accountants. So, g'day Adam, how you going?
I'm excellent, mate. Yourself?
Good. There's something unique. Accountants with personality, eh?
Who would have thought we could actually be funny?
Yeah. Just talking before the call, and Adam was telling me how in the accounting space, I asked him, what is it unique about you? He said he's tech savvy, he's forward thinking, and he likes to have a conversation. That's probably true. Most accountants can't claim. So maybe give us a bit of
that's our point of difference.
Yeah. Tell us a bit about Wilson Accounting and what you do.
Yeah. So basically, I started the firm about 8 to 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And worked for one of the larger in-town practices, and found it was a race to the top, and it was all about productivity, but not about the clients. So essentially, with that, in the accounting industry heading in that direction, I went, no, I want to be different.
Yeah.
And I want to make it all about the client. So essentially we started Wilson Accounting with a client-centric model. We want to put smiles on our client faces. So essentially that's what our ethos and what we're all about. And here we are 10 years later servicing the trade and health and beauty industries as best we can.
Yeah. Because I guess you're right. The accounting industry has gone through a lot of shifts because of automation and even the single touch payroll. All these sorts of things have really pushed you guys to the side, haven't they?
Yeah, look, it's good and bad. I kind of try to embrace it and embrace technology. And I think the current environment we're in right now is as fast-tracked what I would call as a bit of a dinosaur industry. We were still on our calculators and whatnot, and we hadn't really evolved like the rest of the world. So yes, single touch payroll, there's a few game changes in there, but I think it's making accountants sharpen up and work a bit harder for their clients and utilize technology, which is good because the clients, they get the benefits.
Yeah. I would have never thought one of the things that's happened is we've gone cashless. Right?
Yep.
And, the amount of people are terrified about this whole idea of going cashless and going, the cash economy will never die. All you have to do is put a disease in place and everyone doesn't want to touch money.
Oh, I agree. I went to pay with cash the other day and they're like, no, we can't accept it. So the world is definitely evolving.
Yeah.
And the cash economy, we still disclose all their money, of course, but the cash economy is definitely taking the hit there.
Yeah. I think this whole experience of lockdown and COVID, it's accelerated the adoption of technology. And I think you touched on it. Really, the accountant's job is not to just do data entry and compliance. It should be to give sound financial advice. And
correct.
It's about putting a smile on your clients' faces. So maybe give us an insight into what people in business should be focused on with their accountant. What's the sort of things they should be doing right now?
Yeah, great one. And the time is perfect because in July, new financial year, what clients should be doing is getting close to the numbers. We've seen now with the pandemic and the unstable economic environment and the changing landscapes, like on a weekly basis, we're thrown another curveball by the state or federal government. Essentially, you should be checking out your next 12 months. If you can project your next 12 months, and they're only estimates, so you don't have to live your life by it, but if you're getting your head in the numbers, putting it down on paper or talking to your accountant and utilizing their advice as well to help you fine tune those numbers, you've got better foresight than 90% of the business owners out there. So getting your head around the numbers and forecasting is really going to help you for any uncertain times or help you plan in advance for any cash flow shortages or even give you some foresight on, hey, what do our sales need to be next month? And these little things in turn allow the business owners to make better decisions.
Yeah. So how do you deal with this objection where people say, we don't know what's happening because we don't know if we're in or out of lockdown. So how do we predict the next 12 months if we can't predict the next 12 weeks?
I'm hearing that more and more these days. And I'm like, no, they literally, and you touched on it before we caught up. Planning a holiday these days is as stressful, as unknown as ever. But we still sit down and try and plan our holidays. So I'm saying, hey, business owners, it's a mindset. If we do some planning, we're going to be better off if we do nothing. I always go back to the analogy of you plan for a holiday and you'll spend 2 or 3 hours booking flights and doing whatnot. With the unknown, you might not even be able to go into state. But if you sit down and you crunch some numbers on your business, and if you spend 2 hours on the business, I'm telling you, definitely, it's going to pay dividends in your foresight and your ability to be able to actually adapt when those changes do come. You can just jump back in the numbers and just change your forecast if need be.
Yeah, and you touched on something there that I talk about when we do business planning, because I often say it's not the plan, it's the planning process. And when we do budgets with clients, I say, look, I want you to take 2 or 3 scenarios and map them out as if we were in lockdown the whole time, if we weren't in lockdown the whole time, what would the numbers look like? Because that way, when things change, you've got a plan ready. And so
excellent.
It's not about
that's good advice. You have your kind of best case scenario and your worst case scenario. And if you bounce in between those 2 lines, or even you exceed the best case, that's awesome. But, if you're at the bottom line, you can see it. You can adapt, you can move, and you can get ready for what's coming. So,
yeah, absolutely. That's great. So tell me, what's the second thing that you'd suggest that clients need to be focused on right now?
Yep. So one of them is being close to the numbers. The other one is, given the current environment's changing so much, trying to ensure that if there is a time of lockdown, the clients are utilising their time productively. So it's very easy to get caught up in I guess, the negative kind of aspects that are going on at the moment, on a world level. But essentially, for us, it's like getting them back on track, making sure that even if they're a week or 3 week or a month or 3 month goals, that they're setting and putting things in place, and then just trying to touch base and plan out those small wins, and then also, I guess, on a more calendar or granular basis, plan out their days, because we're finding there's a lot of time being lost, either downtime at home, or essentially, saying we're unable to work, and they're saying tools down. This is the perfect time. Give your accountant a buzz, give your trusted advisor a buzz, and say, what should I be doing? Because I'd be coming back to them saying, hey, there's a whole heap of tech that could help you run your business. Hey, get your head in the numbers like Xero, pull out some profit and loss, have a look at them, start utilizing some of this time. Even in marketing, we leave marketing to the last thing because it's actually one of the hardest things to do, or we don't have knowledge on it. Hey, a couple of Facebook posts, write a couple of blogs that you're going to release in the future when we are ready to hit the ground running, and once we come out of lockdown or something like that. So utilize your time would be the other thing we're trying to push the clients to do.
Yeah, because I think you're right, because often people say they don't have time to do a budget. They don't have time to do a marketing plan. And now that excuse is out the window. So it's like, well, what's left, right? I don't know what to do. That's the other one. I don't know what to do. And that you touched on that with getting your trusted advisors in, right? Because there's people out there that know what to do, and all you have to do is ask.
Exactly.
But, another thing, and you were very subtle on this, but it's this gap. It's, the efficiency is how quickly people switch from plan A to plan B. It's how quickly they switch from on the tools to off the tools. And rather than, oh my God, we're in lockdown again, what are we going to do? You just get straight to the budgeting, straight to the marketing. So it's ready to go. So,
and then if you are with our clients, essentially we are getting them to put some of those key things on paper, because when you tick one off and you go, oh, what am I going to do today? Or, I've got home a bit early today, or whatever it is, the next one's sitting there for you to do. So you can't escape it. It's there on the paper. Roll up the sleeves, get in front of the computer and start going for it.
Just get it done. Awesome. So let's go with one last piece of advice you'd be giving to people. We've talked about your forecasts and budgets and knowing your numbers. We've talked about utilizing your time. What's the one last thing you'd give as advice?
One last thing is advice would definitely be, have a look at your tech stack. Now, we're a technology savvy kind of business. And we definitely advise in that marketplace with the app add-ons and whatnot. But there is so many good products out there. I've had tradies come to us, and they are using their diary to write down appointments and notes and all that type of stuff, literally. And they're missing things and I didn't see that appointment. Now, as a business owner, if you turn up on time and do a good job, you're ahead of the pack. You're doing awesome, especially like in a trade or construction or that trade space. So what we're saying is, hey, there is actually products and tools out there that are going to help you take all that clutter out of your head. And whether you're running a calendar on your phone, whether you're running an iPad, whether you're running Trello boards, a tracking system, or an industry-specific program, now's the best time, we'd say, is right now. Get down, start having a look at some of these products, because the sooner you can alleviate a lot of that manual and a lot of that headspace where you feel like there's not enough hours in a day, or you feel, oh my goodness, I can't remember everything. There are tools out there that are going to really help you release some of that headspace and actually be more efficient and more productive. So that would be the next thing that we'd be recommending.
You reminded me of a time I'm driving along in my car, and there's this tradie in front of me, and he's in his ute, and he's taken off from the lights, and on the roof of his car is his diary. All the notes, all the post-it notes with all the quotes in it, and it just goes into the air.
Stop.
And it's like, there goes your life, buddy.
Oh,
Your whole business
no,
down the toilet. And I'm thinking, how do you recover if he loses that diary? That's all his appointments, all his invoicing, everything in one spot. So when you talk about going to tech, there's a couple of reasons. One is speed, but the other one is redundancy. Having this whole notion of if you lose your phone, you can just buy another one, and there you are.
It's all there. And then I did. I'll probably circle back to it. The client of ours, had his diary, and now he's running everything off an iPad. Hasn't missed a beat. Can see where all his staff are. All the invoices uploaded, drafted for him. He's not doing invoicing at night time because the staff have already drafted it for him just for his approval. So not only are you more efficient, you're also saving time because you want to be. I know business owners are. They have to work pretty hard to get to where they need to be. But if they work smarter, not harder, that old saying, you're spending more time with your family. So that's the end result, getting back time and hopefully making some more money on the other end.
Yeah. I remember, I think Robert Kiyosaki said it best. He said, poor people will spend time to save money. And rich people will spend money to save time.
Save time.
Right.
Our most valuable resource. Yep.
And then entrepreneurs will spend money to make money. And that's the next phase of it.
That's the next level.
It's a hard shift for people to think that way because they try and save money, they try and be frugal, and they go, this is the way we've always done it. But when you talk about technology, it's really, it's here to stay. And the people who don't use it are falling behind because the responsiveness of someone who's online and got their iPad there, they can see the request for quotes straight away. They can email the quote straight away. They can get payments straight away. All these things that used to take time can now just be done instantly. And that's a strategic advantage,
Agreed. And I don't know if you've noticed it, but there's been a bit of it, I'd say in the last couple of years, a bit of a shift in the clients. They actually want things done ASAP. They want you to respond straight away. Sometimes you're sitting there and you're in a meeting or whatnot, and your phone goes off, then your email goes off, then your phone goes off, then the office is calling you saying, hey, this client's trying to get hold of you. And this is in the space of half an hour. So if you're not, if you're not meeting, the needs of, that client, they go somewhere else. So there is definitely a demand now on people being really super responsive and having a really quick level of service. So this can all be achieved with technology.
Yeah, awesome. So look, just to summarize our conversation, you've talked about three things. The first one is to know your numbers and really sort of have your finger on the pulse. Even though we've got a volatile economy, you've got to look at all the scenarios so you know where to go. Second thing you touched on was this time management and being able to switch between being locked down, not locked down quickly. And so being really efficient with your time. And the last one was really just this whole idea of looking at the tech stack and talking about what do I do to improve my speed, my efficiency, and give me some resilience in my business.
Correct. Yeah. Perfect. They're the three hot topics at the moment that we're trying to inject into the client base.
Yeah, awesome. Adam, look, I'm mindful of time. Thanks so much for sharing some of your insight with us. It's been interesting having this sort of an accountant with character. I'm not saying that most of them don't. It's just rare, but it's entertaining to see that.
No, excellent, mate. No, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome. Cheers.